Kelly Ripa claims that Mark Consuelos' kisses bother her because the co-hosts of Live with Kelly and Mark are quite forthcoming about their relationship. The two have unquestionably mastered cohabitation over the past 28 years. However, Kelly discloses that Mark's kissing technique is very freaky. Another woman is kissed by Mark Consuelos. Mark Consuelos confessed to kissing another lady on Live with Kelly and Mark in April. Mark acknowledges that he had a moment with a stranger in front of his wife, Kelly Ripa, and the live audience. Overwhelmed by the thrill of their Italian soccer team Campobasso's promotion to the third level, he laid one on a bystander. When we learned that the other team was tied and we were the winners, we ran over to our fans in the cheering, the celebration, and on the field, he says. He then tries to deflect the punch by saying, "I'm running, and I spot this woman, who I'll call my aunt, but she might actually be someone else's aunt." We exchange delighted glances, and when we get to the plexiglass, you know what? I gave her a kiss. Real-time Mark has a very freaky kissing style. According to Kelly Ripa, however, Kelly Ripa isn't entirely convinced by Mark Consuelos' admission. The Let's Talk Off Camera podcast featured Kelly Ripa being honest with its audience. She tells Seth that it's time to discuss the affair. Kelly revealed a little something about her husband, Mark Consuelos, and his peculiar kissing technique during the Wednesday program. "This man made out with me, and I will somehow open my eyes and see him staring," Kelly admits. She claims that it always surprises her, saying, "I'm like, can you not have your eyes open?" However, Kelly acknowledges that she finds it very freaky. After explaining his peculiarity to the audience, Kelly goes on to explain why she doesn't believe his narrative about kissing someone else. "I just got carried away, and I closed my eyes," he said. Kelly is aware that his typical approach is inconsistent. "This was the thing that got me," she says. As a germaphobe, however, others who joined Kelly on the show found it inconceivable that he kissed the plexiglass. Kelly Ripa doesn't accept it. Kelly Ripa was dubious of Mark Consuelos' admittance even in the April program. "Do we have a video of this?" She asks for evidence. "We don't have footage of it," Mark says. Mark gestures back and forth about their immediate connection as he reenacts the moment the stranger's eyes met his. However, Kelly didn't believe him when he said that he closed his eyes for the intimate time. She confronted him right away, screaming, "That isn't possible. You never shut your eyes." "I laid one on her," he says. He goes on to say it was a smooch, but it was passionate. In an effort to sell the story, he insisted on closing his eyes and even made a joke about his rear foot going up. On Live with Kelly and Mark, no subject is too personal when it comes to Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. The real-life married hosts have a gift for turning even the most private marital quirks into pure morning show gold. But on a recent episode, viewers nearly spat out their coffee when Kelly dropped a revelation that left both the audience and her co-host husband blushing. Mark Consuelos, it turns out, has a very freaky kissing style. What started as an innocent chat about romance quickly spiraled into a comedic expose on one of the couple's most intimate habits. And in true Kelly fashion, she told it with razor-sharp humor, theatrical flair, and just enough detail to make the studio audience roar with laughter. The kiss heard round the studio. The segment began when the pair were discussing anniversary traditions. A guest had mentioned that she and her husband always kiss at midnight on their wedding anniversary. That prompted Kelly to chime in with a grin. "Well, Mark has a special way of kissing," she teased, raising her eyebrows. The audience leaned in, sensing a juicy revelation. Mark, caught off guard, shook his head in mock protest. "Don't start this," he warned, already smiling in embarrassment. But Kelly, of course, did not hold back. "It's very freaky," she declared, before mimicking Mark's style with a dramatic demonstration that had the crowd in stitches. "He doesn't just go for a normal kiss," Kelly explained. "It's like he's auditioning for a vampire movie. There's lip, there's chin, there's this." She motioned around her face as though Mark's lips had covered every possible inch. "I never know if I'm being kissed," exfoliated, or mugged. The audience erupted in laughter while Mark buried his face in his hands. Mark's defense: it's passion, not freaky. Never one to stay quiet for long, Mark eventually defended himself. It's not freaky, it's passion. He insisted, his accent growing thicker as he grew more animated. Kelly tilted her head and smirked. Passion? Darling, passion is roses and candlelight. What you're doing is face wrestling. The back and forth turned into a playful debate, with Mark doubling down on his intense kissing philosophy. He told viewers, look, if I'm kissing you with everything I've got. No half measures. I'm in, full commitment. Kelly rolled her eyes and quipped, see what I live with. Ladies and gentlemen, Dracula the lover. Fans react online. Naturally, the internet exploded with reactions. Clips of Kelly's freaky kissing reveal were shared across social media platforms within hours. One fan tweeted, Kelly Ripa calling Mark Consuelos kissing very freaky just made my morning. I need a sitcom of these two, CAT. Another joked. So Mark Consuelos kisses like he's eating a 5-course meal. I'd still volunteer as tribute. Some viewers even speculated that Mark's passionate style might explain the couple's famously strong chemistry after nearly 3 decades of marriage. As one Instagram commenter put it, if freaky kissing is the secret to staying married for 28 years, sign me up. A marriage built on humor. What makes the couple's on-air dynamics so beloved is the way they can poke fun at each other without ever seeming mean-spirited. Kelly's revelation wasn't just about Mark's kissing. It was about showcasing the playful banter that's kept their marriage vibrant since 1996. Behind the jokes, it's clear that Kelly actually appreciates Mark's enthusiasm. You know what, though? She admitted, softening her tone toward the end of the segment. I guess it's better than the alternative. I'd rather have too much passion than none at all. Mark seized on the moment, leaning across the desk and planting an exaggerated smooch on her cheek. The audience whooped, and Kelly pretended to wipe her face with a tissue. You see, she sighed. Proof, freaky. The history of Kelly and Mark's public PDA. This isn't the first time the couple has stirred conversation with their on-air affection. Long before co-hosting Live together, Kelly and Mark had built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most demonstratively affectionate couples. From red carpet kisses to candid vacation snaps on Instagram, they've never been shy about PDA. Back in 2019, a photo of the two kissing on a beach sparked a small controversy when critics called it too much. Kelly clapped back, saying, "We've been married 23 years. If we still want to make out on the beach, that's our business." Clearly, their comfort with affection has translated directly into their morning show chemistry. Why freaky works? Relationship experts often note that humor and physical connection are key ingredients in a lasting marriage. Kelly and Mark seem to have both in spades. While Kelly framed Mark's kissing style as freaky, her tone made it clear that she actually finds it endearing, even if she gets mileage out of poking fun. In fact, some fans online suggested that Kelly's playful rooting was her way of bragging. Kelly's basically telling us Mark's a great kisser, but disguising it as comedy, one fan posted. Another added, "She's smiling too much for it to be a complaint." A morning show that feels like home. This kind of banter is exactly why Live with Kelly and Mark continues to resonate with audiences. Instead of sticking to scripted interviews and polished performances, the couple lets viewers peek into their real married life, awkward kisses and all. Their authenticity is what makes people tune in. They're not afraid to admit their quirks, laugh at themselves, or let the occasional embarrassing truth slip out on live television. Kelly herself summed it up best during the segment. Our show is basically a conversation over coffee, and sometimes that conversation is about how my husband kisses like a very affectionate werewolf. The final word, whether you call it freaky or passionate. One thing is undeniable. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos know how to keep things lively, both at home and on television. As the segment wrapped, Mark leaned back with a grin and said, "Freaky kissing, freaky love. That's why we work." Kelly shot him a look, but she couldn't suppress her laughter. And that, ladies and gentlemen, she told the audience, is the last word on freaky kissing. At least until tomorrow's show. The cameras cut to commercial, but the laughter lingered, both in the studio and in living rooms across the country.